Work in the past, but one I've never talked to you about is Opposites Attract, and it was such an iconic video, and I actually found out just now that you actually, ironically, are allergic to cats.
Ironically, yes.
Aww.
But I love him.
But not to MC Scat Cat.
Well, no, but he gets on my nerves.
Who was the rapper? This Derek Stevens guy. Who
Derek
was Scat
Delight.
Cat?
His name is Derek Delight. And the actor Rami from Weeds, he's actually in that series now called A Million Little Things.
Okay.
Romany is his name. He was the rapper in it. And he went on to having amazing success now.
Wow.
But, you know, from the humble days of being Scat Cat.
True that the live action Scat Cat was Boogaloo Shrimp, like from Breakin' and Breakin' 2?
Yes, Boogaloo Shrimp was the actual body double for Scat Cat. For a lot of the scenes that sets up his personality. Then I had another dancer named Bill Bowl who came in and did the tap dancing and more of the technical dancing. Yeah, but Boogaloo Shrimp he was Scat Cat.
So is there a live action version of you and Boogaloo Shrimp doing this routine?
There actually is a live action rehearsal with him as Scat Cat and me, and also with Bill Bowl and me. Back then, there was no motion capture. Everything was artists painting cell by cell. Nowadays, it could be in real time, but for this, it was like extensive work to put this character together.
I mean, I know you had live action people, but how does one choreograph for a cartoon and envision how that final product's gonna look?
I worked with these talented directors, husband and wife, Candace Reckinger and Michael Patterson. They got a whole bunch of animators from Warner Brothers, Disney, Hanna-Barbera at the time, all to do moonlighting and work on my video. And we were working out, how are we gonna storyboard this? We're gonna have to act like, okay, you're choking Scat Cat, but there's nobody to choke, so you're gonna have to, as I'm laying down, suck in that core and start fun things like that, fake pulling out cigarettes from nothing. And what happens is we did all of my shots, and then the animators came in and would lay down layer by layer. It took a long time.
I think it's the same animators as Take On Me by AHA. There's a connection there.
The husband and wife, Candace and Michael directed AHA's video.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's
they were amazing. And it was a groundbreaking video, and it was right around the time that Roger Rabbit had come out, so it was just wonderful timing.
I know you have such a fondness for like the Gene Kelly era of movies, and it had that vibe to it.
Yes, well, because I always go back to my very first inspiration that allowed me to know this is my calling is when I was 4 years old. And my family sat down and watched an MGM musical called Singing in the Rain, and I was introduced to Gene Kelly at that tender age. And I was mesmerized. My parents told me that I walked up to the TV set and I said, "This is my daddy." And my father said, "No, I'm your father. That could be your TV, Dad." And I kissed the TV. Aww. And I said, and I stood right in front of the TV and I kept moving, dancing around. And that just led me on a path that I never looked back. But I did it because of my music career. I wanted to be able to give a gift to Gene Kelly for all the gifts he'd given me of inspiration. So that's why I went into the record label and I said, look, I know I have 6 singles out, you know, and it was groundbreaking. Then I was the first female artist to have 4 consecutive #1s, 6 singles and that were in the top 5, top 10. And then I just said I want to do a long form video. And they said, no.
They said no.
They thought initially that I was asking for another single. And they said, you're already oversaturated at radio. We don't want people to hate listening to you. And I said, well, not as a single, but just so I could give a gift to Gene Kelly. They said, maybe on the next album you can do that. And I said, but I've got Opposites Attract that lent itself to a duet. I had the whole idea of what I wanted to do. At the end of the day, they agreed to let me do the video. And then the Virgin Records loved the outcome, and they released it as a 7th single, and that went on to sell almost 8 million more records.
You said it was a gift for Gene Kelly, so I assume you got to present it to him. What was his reaction to it? Did you tell him all this?
Well, I didn't even speak to him. I found out who his agent was, and I delivered it to his agency. And 2 days later, I got a phone call from Gene Kelly himself asking if I'd like to come over and meet him. And I was dying. And I remember it was the dead of summer. It was like 100 degrees. He lived in Beverly Hills. I arrived at his house almost 45 to an hour early. And I kept driving around the block. And finally, I just pulled over and I was waiting for it to become the time of the meeting, and I heard tapping on my car, and it was him going, "Are you gonna park and come in?" Because I kept driving around in circles on Rodeo Drive. I was a nervous wreck. I mean, I was meeting my idol, a man I looked up to and molded my whole life after from the time I was 4 years old. So meeting him was incredible. And as soon as we got past the awkwardness of me being so nervous, it was as if we had known each other forever. And we were like two dancing souls that were just talking about careers, and me asking him, you know, because he was so revolutionary in how he saw through the camera lens and how he would choreograph. And I was asking him questions, he's asking questions on choices I made, and it was like seamless. It was such an amazing first meeting. And I said, all I've ever wanted to do is work with you. And I said, you know, I just did a commercial for Diet Coke, replacing some of the legendary performers like Cary Grant, Groucho Marx. So like, who knows, maybe I'll be able to one day dance with you in a commercial for Coca-Cola. And later on that evening, I remember him reaching out to me saying, "Are you a Wiccan?" And I had never heard the term Wiccan before. And so I'm going, "Wiccan? Witch? No, I'm not." And he said, "I got a phone call from an ad agency that's wanting to see if I'll sign off on you know, my rights to let you dance with me." And it was incredible. It was Anchors Away.
Oh.
They removed Frank Sinatra and plopped me in. He coached me. So I would go over to his home and he'd be at the piano with the stick going, "All right, Abdul, on the count 3, between 3 and 4. So on the and count, Frank Sinatra, looks to the left at me and we wink. So we go, "Try it, 1, 2, 3, no, again. It was incredible.
Wow.
I was literally mentored and taught by him.
Your 4-year-old self must have been freaking out.
I just remember that I was so giddy and I kept pinching myself, and I just couldn't believe that I was able to give a gift of gratitude and receive the biggest gift back.